Zach Osborne in third spot, Alex Martin second, Joey Savatgy with the 1-2 for the overall finish today. We'll start off with Joey. It's been kind of a rough little run for you here, and I think I speak for everybody to say we were really shocked to see you come out and just guns blazing this weekend. How did you feel today, and what really turned your result around this weekend?
I mean, I felt good today. Obviously, it's easy to say that when we have a good result, but you know, we had those 2 weeks off, and Adam from Showa, Mitch flew him out back east, and had my teammate come up to the farm, and you know, we spent last week testing, and you know, we made a lot of improvements to the bike, and you know, we got it going in the right direction. So I think that's the biggest thing is you know, we're figuring it out, and you know, pointing ourselves in the right direction. Obviously, good starts help, but when myself and the bike work together, you know, as one, I guess you could say it's a lot easier on me, and feels good to get another one. You know, I know Mitch has been probably pulling his hair out and probably hates us, but you know, we've been trying, and we're finally back up here.
It's good to see Monster Energy Pro Circuit back in the mix of things. Alex, today, hometown race. We were talking earlier, walking around the track. I was walking around the track, and it was just brutally rough. Is this maybe one of the roughest Millville Nationals you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a problem. Like, in the Midwest, thunderstorms are pretty bad, and I know it's been really dry for 3 weeks, and then this week it just kind of unleashed, and we had a lot of rain really on Wednesday, and then even Wednesday night. And it was pretty wet for press, pretty soft, and then it rained again all day Friday. So, I mean, really, you know, the track could have been a lot worse, and I know Schaefer and his gang did a great job to get the track to raceable and rideable, and it actually came around. It was really good for the second moto, but I have not ever seen ruts like that before in Millville. It was pretty gnarly, and even like the jump faces and stuff were spongy all day long, and you know, there was 15, 20 ruts across the face of every jump. So it was definitely a technical track, no doubt about it.
Zach, that first moto, bike started smoking, about 6 laps to go. Just give us a little idea what was running through your head at that point.
I was pretty nervous. I thought at first it was a radiator hose, but then after the moto we found out that it was just a piece came off the valve cover gasket, and it was oil, so I was lucky to not like catch on fire or anything like that. But I was just praying the whole time, like, just let me make it to the end and score some points, and not lose a heap here. So to get 8th, I was super happy with that.
Were you surprised on your speed in the second moto towards the end?
A little bit, yeah. I had some good lines. I fell like on the second lap, and just managed to get up in front of Alex, and then I knew he was right behind me, so I needed a hammer, and I felt good, and like I said, I found some nice lines that were smoother and that I could carry a little bit of extra speed in, and I just felt really comfortable with everything I had going on.
Awesome. We'll open it up for anybody else.
Hey, this is a question for all 3 of you. Training in Florida and heat and humidity, same weather every single day, does that make it so much easier when you come here? It's an incredibly hot, muggy day, probably a little bit warmer even than what you're used to. Like, does it, you know, you can ride in this weather and not be faded by it?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're all out here. This stuff's not really, I guess, a shock to us. But I mean, there's definitely muggy today. Like that's going to play, you know, an effect, I think, regardless, no matter how much you train in it. But I think obviously being in it every day at home is a tool, is beneficial for sure. When we show up on the race day, it's not, oh man, this is crazy. But I think for me, regardless whether you train in it every day or don't, it's going to put a hurt on you if it's hot enough and muggy enough out.
Yeah, I mean, we're all in Florida, so we really don't have an advantage there. I do think you have to be, I mean, it gets pretty hot down there, and you have to be careful not to go too deep during the week, because it does, I think, take away from the weekend. So, I mean, for me, rest and recovery, typically Tuesday is a pretty tough day. So, yeah, just making sure you don't drain yourself too much for the weekend. And, I mean, honestly, today kind of felt a lot like Florida. It was pretty hot and humid, and I think with the track being deep and soft like that, we weren't really going the same speeds we normally go. So, you're not getting that wind flow quite as much. But, yeah, overall, I think it does help us with being adapted to the heat.
This one's for Joey, Jason from Racer X. Joey, how do you know when you're struggling? How do you know for sure it's the bike, or do you start wondering, is it me? Is it the tracks are different, or the other guy's going faster? How do you pinpoint what you need to fix? Did you know immediately, or did you have to come up with a lot of different theories?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I ride the bike. Obviously, it helps when the bike works how I want it to. So I think at the end of the day, I'm at blame, for not having the results that we've had. But we've definitely made bike changes, and that's, made it easier on me not fighting the bike so much. But there was definitely a week or two there where you don't necessarily doubt yourself, but you get frustrated and try to figure out what to change and what's not working. But I think kind of came together, and myself and Johnny and Ricky and Mitch and Bones and everyone, we kind of came together and tried to figure it out. What's different this year than last year. Obviously, we have a new bike, but what's majorly different? And we eliminated a few things, and we've made some changes, and it's in the right direction. So I think I'm pretty confident with the bike and the direction we're headed, and like to close out the season. Obviously be up here and battling for wins is the goal, but got to take it race by race and just try to keep getting good starts and putting ourselves in a good position, and I think we'll be up here.
Are you done, or now that you're in a direction, do you keep going in that direction? More changes coming, or are you good now?
No, I mean, it's always changing. I think we stick with it for now, and we try to find the weakest point, and then attack that and fix that. I don't want to do too many changes at once, and then you start chasing your tail in a circle. But we're in the right direction, and I'll stick with that for a week or so and try to figure out where it can be better, and then from there we'll make the adjustment.
For Zach, just take me through that first moto, and I'm assuming you were trying to nurse the bike around a little bit. So just take me through what you were changing to try to not lug the bike or put it under load and stuff like that.
Well, at first I thought that it was coolant because it was coming from sort of the radiator area, so I was thinking that I just needed to keep it down in the RPMs and try to keep it as cool as possible. But in the end, I found out that it was oil, and maybe I could have gone a little bit harder and still been okay. But I was just happy to cross that finish line.
Alex, when you come back to Millville, how important is that Martin brother competition?
Yeah. I mean, it's not important at all, to be honest. Like, you guys, you got to hype it up, I guess. It's the Martin Brothers home track, but, we have a lot of good riders in the class, and Jeremy's up there, too, on a good day, but he had some crashes today that held him back, and, I mean, obviously, being the bigger brother, you should be a little faster than your little brother, but I definitely don't dwell on it. Like, that's not my focus during the week. I'm trying to beat that guy over there to the right, but at the end of the day, it feels good to beat my brother, but it's definitely not something that I focus on or even like I'm stoked or pumped about when I cross the finish line. Like, yeah, beat little bro. There's bigger things to work on.
Yeah, but you did get that pass in the second moto.
I did pass him in the second moto, and I kind of broke him a little bit there. I mean, I don't know if he reads this afterwards, and he might piss him off, and maybe he'll come out swinging on Washougal, but I look back, and I had a little gap, so I was like, yeah. With
the sand here, back in the sand section, compare that to Southwick. How did the two compare?
I thought it felt pretty similar to Southwick. I mean,
I thought it was sandier here.
It definitely was sandy. I mean, I know my dad was telling me, or maybe Jeremy, that they hauled in like 100 loads of sand. I mean, that's a lot of sand. And it was definitely, I think that's part of the reason why the track was so spongy today, and I think it would have been a lot worse with all the rain that we had if we hadn't hauled in that sand.
Is the texture similar between the two?
I guess, kind of, yeah.
You're not a sand connoisseur?
No.
Okay.
Hey, this is a question for all three of you again. During Supercross, it was really aggressive. Guys were really going for it. It doesn't seem like that same attitude and like you have to make this pass at this moment, take a guy down, has carried over. Is it just because you guys know there's more opportunities than a 15-minute main event? Because, I mean, at some point earlier this year, everybody was running into each other. It's the same guys that are racing out there right now, but it's all clean. It's not like as competitive or as rough.
I think the ruts have a lot to do with it. You know, we get somewhere like here or even Colorado, and there's 30-foot ruts, and there's 15 of them. It's kind of hard to make contact. You know, when there's a preferred line, and once you're in the preferred line, there's no way to get out of it. You know, you got to run it all the way through. So I definitely think it being ruddy and long ruts plays an effect to that. But as well as, you know, there's 30 minutes and 2 laps. You know, it's not a 15-minute main event, and I don't think there's as many opportunities. I think it's just totally different.
Yeah, I will say I think the temperature has a lot to do with it as well. I mean, Colorado was pretty cool, and we were all fresh and spunky, and it seems to kind of stagger the riders a little bit more. You know, they're not quite as willing to dive bomb people and things like that. It seems like it kind of mellows the riders out a little bit.
Do you feel like as riders, when it's hot like this, it's more like you don't have that attack to fight back quite as hard in a battle, that you kind of go into a little reserve mode instead of wasting energy?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it depends on the situation, but yeah, I mean, definitely it's a lot harder to retaliate when it's, you know, 95 and feels like 103 out. You know, I think that definitely, like he said, plays an effect. But I think the situation is well, you know, that depends. If it's for an overall, if it's for a moto win and you're coming down the last lap, I don't think that really much matters. But, you know, if there's not a lot to gain from it, then I think it's totally different.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you at Washougal next weekend.
Sweet.